All right, this is what the lab should look like. I'm just gonna start these nodes and get them going, and then we'll get connected to them. We have our PFSense fired up, and we can already see that we're getting DHCP from our net. If you don't have a net, you can right-click, go to New Network, set up a cloud network, cloud management, cloud 0, and that will get you to the internet. Then you have your PFSense connected on your E0 interface, your PFSense. You'll have to right-click it and change the NIC to the E1000 NIC. Here's just an example. Right-click the node, go to your NIC, change it to the E1000. And for the PFSense, you'll also have to change it to the VNC console. And that's it. So this eventually will be our trunk port going from our E1 interface of PFSense to our 118 of the Aruba switch. These will be access ports. This will be for VLAN 30. This will be for VLAN 20. And we will go through how to set those up here to get an IP address to our Linux machine. So let me check on these guys, make sure they're loaded, and we'll get started. Okay, there is our Linux machine. This is our Aruba switch. It takes a little bit for it to get going. I'm just going to kind of shrink this down a little bit so I can fit it in over here. And then again, I have my firewall here and ready to go. So what we're planning on doing once we have these three connected and fired up, this has internet connection, this has a LAN default LAN gateway of 192.168.1.1. So once the switch gets going, so we can get through the switch and get them connected, we will go into the PFSense GUI from the IP address in a browser and get it configured. All right, I'm going to log into the Linux machine. All right, so let's try to get into that. Right now, it's not telling us that we have any kind of internet connection. Guess we can't get to a browser either. So what we have to do is, if you noticed, the connection here on the switch are by default shut down. So we're going to have to turn them on by telling it no shut. And as soon as our switch comes up, it takes a few minutes before it loads, so be patient. All right, excellent. So if you haven't already configured the switch, that's fine. But what we're going to end up doing, we're going to log in and get things configured, turn those interfaces on, just for now, and then we'll end up doing VLANs here in a minute. So first I want to do add admin, and there's no password initially. It'll prompt you to reset the password. You just hit enter twice. It's a lab, it'll be okay. All right, so good practice though to set a strong and secure password, and definitely to encrypt that password as well. But for us, we're just going to skip that. All right, so now the first thing that I'm going to want to do is, let's just set this name of this switch. So I'm going to do config T or configure terminal, and then I'm going to type in host name, and then I'm going to say Aruba CX. And you can see it changed the name. So now I know what I'm working with, and to save that, I'm going to do a write memory. All right, cool. So those settings have been changed. So let's get into the interface. I say the first interface we need to get to is the interface 118. So we're going to type in interface or INT. You can always hit tab, then 1/1/8. I'm going to tell this thing to no shut. down. That turns it on. No shutdown. I'm going to say no routing. And that is all I'm going to do at this point. I'm going to do a write me. I'm going to do a show interface brief. And I can see that my interface 8 is up. Okay, so we do the same thing for 113. Here I'm going to do, you can also do an up arrow for your history, and just change that to a 3. Same thing, no shut down or no shutdown, no routing, and then a write me. Okay, so I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to right click this. I'm going to go right click on the NIC, and then I'm going to tell it to uncheck the enable network. Right click again, enable network. And look at that, we have something. All right, excellent. Can we ping the firewall? Ping 192.168.1.1. That is not what I was typing. Ping caps lock, number lock, 192.168.1.1. Yes, I can ping it. So that means I can reach it. So awesome. We do a control C to stop that. Come back over here. We'll scroll up. Let's just refresh that page there. And bam, we are there. So we're going to hit advance to continue. I'm going to expand this just a little bit so we can see it. And we're going to scroll down and say accept the risk and continue. Then we're going to type in admin and then lowercase pf since. Admin pf since. All right. And now I'm going to just do a no save for now. We're going to go through the initial prompts of getting the firewall set up. I'm going to hit next, next, next. I'm going to set my primary DNS as 8.8.8.8, but I do want it to be overridden, and that's fine for DHCP. And then here I'm going to America, Chicago, America, America, Chicago, America, Chicago, and next. Alrighty. So we're in the WAN. DHCP is fine. That's exactly what we want. We want to get DHCP from our internet or from the WAN or ISP. We want to get internet there. I am going to uncheck these. The RFC 1918. That's something to remember. It's going to be your private addresses. So we don't want to block those because we're internal. We're doing this in the lab, and we're going to hit next. And then we're going to keep that as the 192.168.1.1. That's fine, because we're going to set up VLANs with different ones, and we're going to reset the admin password. I changed mine to PF capital SENSE, PF capital SENSE for labs. But please, by all means, set your password secure, more secure than that. All right, so now we're going to reload. All right, and also you definitely want to make sure you're doing updates, but this is the latest version or later version. We should be fine. I'm gonna hit finish, and can we reach the cat bounce? We can reach the cat bounce. Can we reach the bouncing DVD logo.com? We can reach the bouncing DVD logo.com. Come on, don't let me down. Cats are bouncing. All right, there's the bouncing DVD logo. And the cats that are bouncing. All right, so that's how we're going to just use that to monitor and check our internet connections. Even remember, we can right click on the Linux, do a uncheck to enable, and re-enable it to bounce the NIC or power it off, power back on. We're going to hit finish. And cool. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna check accept. And then, all right, awesome. And I'm gonna close that. And now I can see my WAN interface is up. I can see my LAN interface is up. Everything looks good. We can go over here and do a show run. You can see what our NIC's got, or what our switch has going on right now. It's just some access ports on, and open some ports up, and that was it. We've got this set up. We've got no VLANs configured. We just have the defaults. We can reach the internet this way, but we need to honestly set this up with some VLANs to separate that traffic. And in the next video, we're going to do that. I think this is a good stopping point. If you can reach this, then you have done a successful lab thus far this week, and we will continue to work on it next week.